Welcome to the City Current Show. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference, empowering the good. And we're going to be talking about BrightStone. We are joined by Brenda Hauk, founder and executive director of BrightStone. Brenda, how are you doing?
I am doing great today, Jeremy. Thank you.
So let's start out with you being the founder and the executive director. Give us a little bit of history for starting the nonprofit BrightStone.
That was an exciting time. I had been teaching school for many years in the area of special education and enjoyed what I did tremendously. And until such a time as I was working at the high school level, and we have students that stay in high school through age 21. So part of my task was to help individuals find their next environment and how to transition from a high school to what we might call the real world. Transition from school to work, perhaps living independently. What I found in our area and ended up in the state of Tennessee and soon found out in the United States, we don't do a real good job with that. We do a wonderful job both financially and in resources to prepare our students from age 3 to age 21. And then many times that's where we let them go. There's a lot of nonprofits now starting up to try to help individuals find recreation, social life, work, other living situations. But at the time, which was about 25 years ago, these resources really were not available at the rate that they were needed. So I left the high school setting with some other families and myself. We began BrightStone as a nonprofit. So we formed our 501c3 and chartered, etc. We began with free room and board, if you might say, call it that way, at a church, giving us space pro bono for 7 years. And then we built our own building because we had built up not only the population, the number of individuals that we were serving, but also the awareness in the community. And our community was supporting us in a wonderful way. So we built a 9,000 square foot building on donated land, and a lot of donated construction work happened. It has been our wonderful place of providing a very prolific program for 15 years. Now we're looking at the next step. But during those 15 years, we did grow our program and our direct services staff who provide directly to the individuals that we serve. So that's kind of where we started and where we are today.
I like it. That's a good history recap there. Give us an illustration of the individuals you serve. So give us an idea of the group that you serve.
You know, it's interesting. We almost know better, Jeremy, who we cannot serve or do not serve at this time, rather than those that we do. So we take individuals on a tour with their family. We let them get a little whiff, a little idea of what we are and the culture of BrightStone. And we get to see them in the setting of BrightStone. And then they have days they can come visit at no cost. Sometimes in 2 or 3 days, we can see this is a great fit, or this isn't really the area we serve. Sometimes it may take a couple of weeks for us to really get a good handle on that. So we have a variety of individuals, sort of what you might typically think we would have, individuals with Down syndrome. We have learned many other dromes throughout our career: Williams syndrome, Smith-Magenis syndrome. I'll have an individual come and we'll find out their diagnosis, and we have to go off to the side and do a little research and find out, wow, that's a new one to us. But we also serve those with autism, that type of developmental challenge. And then we also serve those with brain injury. So it kind of broadens beyond merely an individual with just an intellectual disability.
You've mentioned education, social, recreation, job skills. So you cover a very broad bandwidth. Go ahead and talk about how they all kind of overlap to create this experience, this holistic experience.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. And I wish my program coordinator was sitting here answering that. She, I'm an educator. So all I knew was how to start this program like a school. And in fact, we are educating the individuals. And so it kind of fits and it works out pretty well. But we do have a 4-to-1 student to teacher ratio. So given that parameter and given the idea of programming that we wanted to do, we sat down and tried to decide, what do we want our adults with special needs to experience? And the first word we looked at was adult. They need to have a program that emphasizes an adult world. So what is that to me and to you? That adult world usually involves going to college or some kind of training school, getting a job. For sure, it means independence. So our students that we serve will not achieve at those levels. That's why we're here for them. So what levels can they achieve under those parameters? Can they be educated? Can they learn more? Can they have a job? And the answer to that is emphatically yes. So how could we provide that? We decided that whatever work they're doing, they have a lot of goals to work on. So we developed and did a lot of research, found some other resources to develop a vocational assessment. And that told us they need to work on certain skills as we evaluated the adults that we were serving. But as they work on those skills, we felt like they needed to have meaningful work to do. So instead of sitting there putting widgets together all day long when they're trying to achieve some other goal that involves work adjustment or a productive work habit, we decided, what could they produce that people might want to buy? That just makes all of us feel very motivated to work and full of self-esteem. If we know something we put our hands to and really give it our all, someone else wants that service or that product. So what we did is we went around the country to find out what was happening in all the other states around us. Of course, we didn't visit them all, but we did visit about 20, and we learned from them. And we didn't have to reinvent some product. We took those ideas and brought that to our program. So what we produce is products and services that sell or are desired in our area. The products they produce are absolutely phenomenal. And what I love about them is that people will buy them never knowing that an adult with special needs produced that product. So we've become very enterprise oriented. But before I talk too much about enterprise, which we might talk about later, the flip side is while they are involved from start to finish on one enterprise and then interjecting their talents on other products, they're working on their vocational goals and objectives. So yes, they're learning to stay at your station, complete the task that you've been given, ask your supervisor for help as needed. Who is the supervisor? What is a supervisor? So they're learning all of those things while they're producing a product, and we have that finished product sitting in front of them on their table at all times. So if you walked in their classroom and said, well, what are you making today? Well, they may be doing one small part of a painted product or a ceramics piece, but they can point to that at the table and say, I am making that. And that's very motivating for them. We have a very positive approach to their learning. We have a little saying at BrightStone, there's no no's at BrightStone. So all of our sentence structure in our own language as teachers does sort of a flip-flop. And by the way, it helps in our home life and our married life as well, and working with our own children. It takes a little bit of time. And during that time, if that individual threw some products off the table and broke them, or used someone else's paintbrush, we calm down as a teacher. I tell my teachers the paintbrush costs 7 cents. It's okay. The terracotta clay pot costs 79 cents. It's okay. Let's focus on the individual and what is going on in that person at that time, and try to see how can we enter in and help that individual to not be afraid, to not enter their space, to help them, and especially those with autism. So we change our own environment ourselves. I cannot control another person, but I can control me, myself. So if they've grabbed someone else's paintbrush, I can go over and congratulate them on the job they're doing. And during that time of congratulating, I, in my mind, am reforming my words to not say, don't use Sarah's paintbrush. Instead, I'm telling them what a great job they're doing. 9 times out of 10, they let go of the paintbrush while they look up at me and smile. And now I can actually remove that paintbrush from them if that's the approach I want to take. And then I tell them, you know, I love that you have the right tools, and here's your tool. This tool is yours. No one else can use this but you. And so I love the way you're doing pink. And I don't talk about the other person over here and what they need. I just talk about the person, make that person the center of my attention. And we've had tremendous success with the positive approach in this variety of things, as you said, the breadth of activities. Now, also in our day, we're not working all day long. Yay, none of us like to do that. So there are times when other activities are interjected into their day. For example, exercise. We really believe the mind and the body are all in one sync. Our individuals are living longer and longer lives, thanks to increased medication opportunities, increased surgical opportunities. So we're very excited about that. It needs to be a quality life then. No longer is their lifespan just 30 or 35 years. It can be 65 and 70 years. During that time, they don't need to regress. They need to continue. What is that saying? A body in motion stays in motion. So let's stay in motion, guys. So exercise is part of every single day, Monday through Friday. We go to a gym local in the area, and we have an athletic trainer who meets us there, and she takes us through a variety of exercises. Then on other days, we have a therapeutic yoga instructor who comes to our facility and works out with the individuals. We have found that therapeutic yoga has made the greatest progress in the reduction of falls among our students. They are learning, their body is learning balance and stamina. So we're very excited. We had a family call one time and say, the mom said, I can finish shopping in one shopping time at the grocery store without having to sit in the middle and rest with my adult. Now they've got some stamina. It is because of exercise. So that is part of our day. Music is part of our day. Art is part of our day. So the jobs are there and the students are in those classes working, but then there's time throughout the day to have other art opportunities, other therapeutic opportunities. We have a huge garden in the back of the building, and they pull out and go there. And then one real important part is learning never ends. So we have a learning lab with a lab of several, I think we have 8 computers. we have modified keyboards and modified mouse. They're able to continue learning in an avenue that is current and fun for them. So it is a real variety. It takes a program manager to manage all of this and make it happen smoothly, which it does.
How can we help your efforts? So how can the community help?
I always say there is one word, and that is awareness. So many people do not even know BrightStone is there. If they don't know, then they can't even call us to see if their son or daughter could attend. We need families to know we are an option. We're alive and well and functioning and growing, and we want to know how we can help these families. We also have donors who have maybe certain niche or areas that they love to give to. And it might be people who need them, people who need tuition assistance in order to keep having a viable learning experience. We've had people who've started scholarships at universities, and then they find out about BrightStone and they say, oh my, we want to start a scholarship program for BrightStone. Awareness is our key function. We, of course, need volunteers. We need dollars. Everything's so expensive, and it costs a lot to provide a 4-to-1 type of program. But at the same time, I really believe awareness is the key. So we give tours. We would love for people to come for a tour. We have a website, brightstone.org. We would love for people who don't live local or can't come to a tour to get on our website, to just learn that we are there. We are an option. And then people can be stirred to volunteer, to give, or to even come and be a part of our program or help other students to be a part of our program.
Well, you mentioned it, but go ahead and mention it again. Website, phone number, social media. Where do we go to learn more and to help you raise awareness? So where do we go?
Thank you so much, Jeremy. Everybody has to know the avenue to find out about what nonprofits are doing, what BrightStone is doing, because we are doing good things. And we're very excited for folks to go to our website, brightstone.org, because we are growing. We now know that the heart cry of parents is really residential services. They're wanting to know who is going to take care of my son or daughter the way I take care of my son and daughter. And you talk about a high bar of excellence. If BrightStone's going to meet that, we must put together facilities, safety measures, homes that are modified for individuals who need modification, and the correct staffing who are going to love them, care for them, and still drive them toward independence. We are located in the southern part of Franklin, the southeastern part of Franklin, Tennessee. And we invite people to call us for a tour anytime at 615-790-4888. I've learned to say this again, 615-790-4888. And our facility is beautiful, but 2 miles from us, we have purchased 140 acres. And on this acreage, we're building a farm. We're building a campus where we will not only provide job training and the exercise and art activities I've mentioned, we will also have a gymnasium, a therapeutic aquatic center, and horticulture enterprise center on 28 of those acres. We have a lake. Our adults will be able to have an eco classroom and be able to learn about the plant life and the water life, etc., on those ponds, and be able to fish. We have a retreat area where our adults will work the retreat center by individuals from the community coming and staying there and fishing there and riding the paddle boats and the canoes, and our adults will have a job. They will be renting all of that out to the community. We want to be a destination also for the community to come. We also will have our own store on this campus selling the products that our adults make. And hopefully our dream, our vision is to have a small restaurant. It might be a luncheonette or a donut shop or a pastry and coffee type shop, ice cream store, or maybe all of the above. We have 140 acres and we can build whatever we think is really exciting, whatever our adults can accomplish and be a part of. Right now, our learning center that we have now that I mentioned was 9,000 square feet is going to expand to 23,000 square feet. We're under a steel roof at this time. The structure's going up. It's a $5.8 million structure. And we're thrilled to death how we will be able to expand our program, but also enlarge our classrooms. Some individuals, they really need space to feel safe in their environment. And if that's something we can provide, that's pretty easy. And if that's what calms a person down, that's what we would like to do. We have had an occupational therapist and a physical therapist on consult through our entire building out of this facility because we want those with autism to have a calm experience also with the color and the sound and the textures within our building. And then we're building 2 teaching homes. How better to learn how to live independently than to move out of your own home with your parents and move into a home with a couple of friends and learn how to take care of your own bedroom, take care of yourself, and perhaps fix your own meals. We will have a variety of homes in our full build out. We really want that varied level of care, which is very unique in our country. A lot of the higher functioning are finding some areas of support in recreation and in residential services. Well, what about the individuals who, upon exiting from high school, they have been in a wheelchair since birth, and they are fully involved in that chair, and they really want a viable social life? How are those individuals going to be cared for? And then we have some individuals who just need somebody who's with them throughout the night, making sure everything is done correctly, meds are taken, baths are taken, and assist them as needed while teaching them levels of independence. And then we have some folks who are very independent, but they may not make really good choices in life. They may not have enough ability to be able to drive a car. They find it very challenging to keep a job. We can help those individuals, but they don't need someone living in their home. They just need a staff person next door that they can call on. So from skilled nursing all the way to independent living and everything in between, they tell us in the world, you cannot be all things to all people. But I say, they don't tell special education teachers that. In special ed, you have to be all things to all people. You have to individualize and have an individualized plan. So that's what we want to do in this next phase of life for individuals who are exiting our high schools in our country. Right now, we have almost 200 on our waiting list, and about 30 of those are from out of state. This is a great need. We will not take that many people, so more facilities need to be built around our country to help these individuals live a viable life.
Well, make sure everyone visit brightstone.org to learn more. So brightstone.org to learn more. And Brenda, thank you for all you and your amazing team do. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy, so much. Awareness is what you're providing. So I appreciate that, and thank you very much. And I thank your audience as well.